What is like kind? So there is a requirement in a 1031 exchange that you buy like kind property. As a matter of fact, like kind is such an integral part of a 1031 exchange that the term like kind exchange is sometimes used synonymously with doing a 1031 exchange. So although the term like kind is very important to 1031 exchanges, it can be somewhat confusing. The term implies that what you sell and what you purchase have to be the same. They have to be like kind. And many people mistakenly think that's what the rule means. I'm selling an apartment building. I need to buy an apartment building. I'm selling a strip mall. I have to buy a strip mall. But that's actually not what it means. Like kind means that what you're selling and ultimately what you're purchasing has to be held for productive use in a trade or business or for investment purposes. So we don't look to the nature or quality or zoning or the type of property being sold. We look to if it's held for productive use in a trade or business or for investment purposes. Now, we also have to remember that in 1031 exchanges, it is only domestic real property which is like kind to other domestic real property. So it's the United States, Guam, and the U.S. Virgin Islands under certain circumstances. Puerto Rico does not qualify for domestic property. And then we have the whole rest of the world that you could do a 1031 exchange. So if you are a U.S. taxpayer that's selling foreign property, you can do a foreign 1031 exchange, but you have to buy foreign property. So it is domestic real property is like kind to domestic real property, and foreign real property is like kind to foreign real property. There is also the requirement that it has to be held for productive use in a trade or business or for investment purposes. So what does that mean? Well, a lot of people think that it just means the time period that you own the property. And while that's a great starting point, it does have to be held for capital gains tax purposes. So what that really means is not only the length of time, but what you've done during that length of time. So if I own the property for a year and a day, that's generally what most people think of when they think of capital gains tax. But if during that period of time I've held it for resale, then that may not be held for productive use in a trade or business or for investment purposes because it's resale. It also can't be held for personal use. So your primary residence, your vacation home that you use more than 2 weeks out of the year, that also cannot be the subject of a 1031 exchange unless you diminish your personal use to comply with the statutes and the regulations to turn it into a property held for productive use or a trade or business or for investment purposes. So it is the intent both when you're selling and when you're purchasing that is going to govern what is like kind.